I thought perhaps that we should talk a bit about this book. George R.R. Martin is the author of the Song of Ice and Fire saga. It started in 96, I believe, with the book Game of Thrones, and continues with Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords, Feast for Crows, and Dance Dragons. This book, however, is a chronicle. It tells the story about the previous kings and queens of Westeros, which is the continent in which the main focus of the saga occurs. So this isn't a classic narrative. It doesn't have any protagonists in the classic sense. Rather, it's history. Although history usually concerns itself with broader strokes. It doesn't concern itself usually with who married whom, or how many kids did they get, how many of their children died while young, what kind of trouble do you go through to marry off your daughters, etc. It's more like a mythological / religious / historical text. It tells the story about how the Targaryens fled from Valyria and landed on Dragonstone, which was a place which they already owned, apparently, and had done so for some time. It tells that Aegon and his two sister brides invades and conquers most of Westeros. They don't conquer Dawn, which is the southernmost kingdom, or it wasn't a kingdom, that's one of the points. They had princes and princesses, not kings and queens. And all of this is written in the Diageses. It's written by a maester, by Archmaester Gildane of the Citadel of Old Town, and transcribed by George R.R. Martin. This is the same thing that Tolkien did with The Lord of the Rings. It's not written by him in the Diageses. He is just a translator, and it serves a purpose that if something would be wrong, or if something seems strange, you can always say that it's the Maester and his plans and agendas that is controlling how the story is told, how history is told. This Archmaester draws upon other texts because he is writing this many decades after it occurred. And the first book, The Fire and Blood, covers the history from Aegon the Conqueror to Aegon the III, which is about 150 years or something. So anyway, if George R.R. Martin were to write this as an author, then all of it would be canon instantly, and he would have small possibilities to change or to correct things. But since it's written by a maester, it's quite easy for him to shrug and do whatever he wants. Of course, an author, I feel, always owns his diegesis. But on the other hand, you do not want to make your fans angry. So, should you read this? It has little narrative value, as I said, but it's if you are a nerd and you do like the book series, then by all means read it. It's a different genre from what you are used to, perhaps, but it's totally read-worthy, so to speak. On the other hand, if you have only seen the TV show, the series, and you would want to know more about the world, then this probably wouldn't be the best place to start. It describes in quite a detail all the different persons and houses and lords and ladies and there's a lot of people in here, and I don't even pretend to really care about whatever this dude from house whatever did. That's not my thing. When I read, I usually focus on the larger picture, and I can hardly remember much of the details in the story. So, this was probably not as helpful as you would have hoped, but for me it's this book and its successor, hopefully, which will cover the rest of the kings up until Robert's Rebellion, is a must-read because I really, really love the book series.